make a hole, stick that blade in and start cutting. You have a hole right?
From the last video, my brain went almost like no memory. I can't do anything now.
Stuff's like Jello. Doesn't come out.
Use that the vitreous humor.
Mm-hmm.
And then that thing's the lens.
I think the aqueous is in front, right? The aqueous humor, right? The stuff that's in here. Yes, you're right. Just the vitreous.
Yeah, you do.
So this is anterior, this is posterior.
Is that the new iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, here we go. All right, your optic nerve's not going to be that long, guys, but...
Which aren't too many. Basically, you can see the cornea on the anterior portion of the eye, right here. And if you turn the eye and look at the posterior portion, you should be able to see projecting out of the posterior portion the optic nerve. There'll be a structure, a stub of the nerve projecting out of the back. Now that you've established which end is the front and which end is the back, then we're going to cut the eye so that you have around the circumference just an anterior portion and a posterior portion of the eye. So I'm going to do that right now. The one.
Okay, so she's going to cut through this. What we're going to do first is look at the anterior part. Okay, so let's concentrate on the front.
Back here. I'm going to begin by looking at some of the structures here in this anterior portion that I've cut. The first thing we'll note here is that the eye is filled with a gelatinous jelly-like material here. This is called the vitreous humor. This is only found behind the lens. We'll look at some of the compartments of the eye on the diagram in just a moment here. So the first thing we're going to want to do from the anterior compartment here, from this anterior half rather, is remove this jelly-like fluid, this vitreous humor, as much as possible.
On the lab exam, it'll be, I'll put name specific structure, hint, jelly. Hint.
Behind that fluid, so I scrape a little of it out there, you can see the lens, the large structure. I'm going to pop it right out
Pop
for
the lens out, guys. I know you don't
There
have
it
a
is.
forceps.
It looks a lot like a marble. It's hard. It's more or less spherical. It's in the sheaf size that you have here. It's opaque. It shouldn't normally be so. It normally is quite clear, and the light refracts through it. But the preservatives tend to make them.
All right, you guys see like a black ring surrounding your lens.
Or the texture of that a little bit.
What's that
Something
stuff
else you
called?
might
That
do
black
is
ring.
turn it up on the side and look at see. You can see it barely on this one.
Oh, the black stuff.
If you look at the edge, maybe you can just make out the remnants of the suspensory ligaments right around the edges of it. Suspensory ligaments are what holds the eye onto the ciliary muscles, which are responsible for contracting to alter the shape of the lens in visual accommodation. Okay, let's go back here to our half. Now that we've got this removed, see if I can get this all the way in half so this will be easier to work with. Now to the remainder of this vitreous humor. Okay, and as you look down into the eye, you can see the opening through which we can view the cornea, the other side of the cornea. The cornea is down in there. There's the cornea on the front. I'm touching it from the front side. And the opening, the hole, of course, would be the pupil, which you look down into, look through. Around the edge of the pupil, I can lift this black ridge. This will be the iris. I'm going to pull this entire black layer where the iris and the accompanying ciliary muscles loose so that we can examine that a little further. So I'll hold for a second while I try to do that.
Just pry it out. Do not tear it, do not rip it, just pry it out.
Loosen it from the edge all the way around.
Get the blunt end probe in there. Some people want to they take the eye and they turn it inside out. You can do that too. Maybe that helps you lift it up. But lift out that black thing surrounding the pupil. You ever opened a paint can before? Okay, just kind of lift it up, pry it up, and then there it is.
It's tough.
Rubbery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Not the best bit.
So once you get a part out, you actually use your hands, okay, and just kind of very gently take it out. Just get a corner up. Once you get that corner up, pull it out with your hands.
Part of it, Jeff. Oh, it's not done.
How many groups have torn that black thing out already? 1, 2, 3. We're waiting on 3 more groups.
Not that, that's part of the iris. Turn around and use the brown.
Get it pried up. You need to figure,
Is it for your own eye?
pull it out. We have 4 out of 6 groups ready. We have 5 out of 6.
This is, I think that's part of it. This inner part here.
What's that blue color?
Mm.
You gotta just get over your fear that people think cheat by. So that's it. All right.
Is it food?
Now on one side, guys, you can see the part that you were seeing from the back, okay? But you can, on the front, you guys see a brown ring surrounding the pupil. You see a brown ring surrounding the pupil.
Oh, wait, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see the brown ring, you have to flip it over. Okay? Well, what is that thing? That's the iris.
The color
Okay.
part.
Now, if you flip it on the other side, it's all black,
Iris.
and it has like little bumps on it, little folds, radiating folds surrounding the pupil. Okay? What is that side surrounding the pupil? All black.
Yeah, I think
It
you're
has
right.
little folds on it.
Ciliary body?
That's the ciliary body.
Yeah.
Okay? So on one side, you can see the ciliary body surrounding the pupil.
And on
other
the
side,
models, they have them really thick,
iris
right?
surrounding the pupil.
We're
Okay,
done. But hopefully we can still see some of the structures there. Move some of the debris. What we can see from this backside view, we're still looking at it from where the lens would be in position. Hopefully you can see along this edge, along the edges of the opening areas of the pupil, you can see these ridges. These represent the ciliary muscles. They're part of the ciliary body. So the ciliary body, it would be the ciliary muscles, the ciliary processes here, along with the suspensory ligaments, which holds the lens in place. So normally the lens would be sort of right there behind that opening and held in place by the suspensory ligaments. To flip this over, I hope we're going to be able to see the ring of tissue that you would see from the front of the eye. Here we go, which is the iris. And that is this band of material right around here that encloses the opening of the pupil. It has a layer of circular muscle and a layer of radial muscle so that the opening of the pupil can be either expanded or constricted by contraction of one of those two muscle layers. So that would be the iris. Iris is again visible on this side, and you can see the ciliary processes of the ciliary body, ciliary muscles on this side. Looking back into the eye, then we can see just the cornea there clear with all the other material removed. Okay, we're going to move over for just a minute over to the
She's gonna
diagram over here
do a
to
drawing
outline.
and touch your face at the same time. But we'll move past that. And we're gonna look at the posterior segment. The posterior segment.
Eye dissection.
Look at the
The
back.
first thing we'll note is that there is a thin layer of this kind of creamy white material,
What is that, guys?
which is laying over the surface there. The creamy white material is the retina. That's the layer which
Yes, it was
contains
this
the
stuff?
actual visual
Oh, okay,
receptors,
this
the
is the
rods and the
retina.
cones.
Yeah, just got
What you can notice is that in the retina, there will be a puckering at some point. Right
What is that
in the
pucker?
center of the pucker is right there. That would correspond to the optic disc. That's the blind spot. That's where the optic nerve enters the eye. So if you turn the eye around and kind of keep track of where that spot is, you should see the optic nerve coming right off there.
Puckering the retina represents
The optic nerve is right out there, exterior to that same disc on the interior
we don't
portion
even
right
know.
there. So the optic disc would be noted as just basically a pucker in the retina. The retina tissue again is the creamy white. You kind of roll that out of the way. The next layer down that you see is a dark black layer. In some of the sheep's eyes, it may also have a kind of a bluish green tinge to it.
Yours
It
has
has a
that.
material coating on it to be reflective. Human eyes don't have that. Some of the sheep's eyes you will be able to see that. This layer is called the choroid layer, this dark black,
This is the
blackish blue sort of layer. It's then, you can also move that out of the way to get down to the next layer,
What she's gonna do, guys, is
which
she's
is
gonna
the
try
hard
to
white
lift up the
covering that you
cortical
had such
to
trouble
show you
going
the sclera.
through.
But you can really see, you don't have to move it, you guys should see it right there. You guys see that layer in white? So that is the sclera right there,
This is a square.
okay? But if you want, you can lift the cortical out of the way if you want. That's pretty much it, guys. Any questions about that?